Mic test, 3, 2, 1. All good. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are doing a trading review series here. This is trading review number 13, if I'm not wrong. Today is August the 3rd, 2026. And I want to share with you guys something that I have discovered over the past week. I have studied for a bit over the weekend and in the past couple of days. Since this is also the reason that I have not been so active. I used to post every day my trading reviews, but last week I have decided that the way that I'm currently trading, or that I was trading, I'm still trading like that, had a bit of caveats to it, as in it was a bit difficult for me at times to find the market moves, given the fact that I can only be at the charts for a limited time. So I have to go for work. I've got my job that I have to be up for in the evenings. And when the Nasdaq is opening in the morning, 9 a.m. New York time, 9:30 a.m. New York time, it's about 15:30 here in Central Europe, where I'm currently living. So I was looking, in a way, maybe I can find a way to trade the London session. This was the whole this was the main reason that I decided to look into a new way of trading, if you will. So I said, how can I find, I want to trade the Nasdaq, I don't want to trade anything else. Like, I have another option to trade the DAX, but most of the prop firms, the futures prop firms, are offering packages for data, futures data on CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. So DAX is not there. DAX is on Eurex, if I'm not wrong. So I decided I have to drop DAX. So I'm going to stick to one of the United States indices, and I picked the Nasdaq. I can trade between Nasdaq and ES, but at the moment I'm trading the Nasdaq. So I wanted to know if I can find a strategy for the Nasdaq that I can trade in London session. And scrolling a bit back through the charts and doing a bit of hindsight testing, I realized that the London session for the Nasdaq is not the cleanest one. Most of the times, I would say it's a rangy. It has a rangy price action. It has a rangy outlook. And it's something that you don't necessarily want to trade unless you have a specific strategy or a specific way to look at the market that helps you with rotational moves, so you can catch rotational moves. And I thought to myself, I started to think, to put all these things together, and I said, okay, how can I find, or what kind of style of trading would I need to deploy or learn in order to be able to trade in a rotational or in a ranging environment? Because again, I'm willing to trade London session, which is not the cleanest, and to give it a try, and to try to skip New York because I have other things to do in the afternoon. However, I realized that I don't really need to learn a completely new strategy, because the basics of price are still the same. Like, I cannot unlearn all the things that I have learned so far in the past couple of years. So it's more of a matter of, can I add a bit of nuance to my current reading of price action so that I can have some reference points on the charts that will allow me to, for example, scalp in the London session, because I don't necessarily intend to hold trades for 3-4 hours, not even for 30-40 minutes. If my trades or my risk to reward can happen in 2-3 minutes, why would I hold for more? And to be fair, for me, I think having a very intense window, a short, very intense window where I can be very, very focused and, let's say, go in with higher size, it works better than just tracking the charts all day, waiting for trades which might not happen, waiting for New York session to put in the high or the low, waiting for the New York session to reverse, waiting for the New York session to respect the PD arrays. I have to go to work after the first 2.5 hours of the New York session opening of the session, and oftentimes it can happen that New York is going to make the move when I'm already working. So in order to not be not feeling that, oh, I've been staying at the charts for 2 hours. I didn't take the setup. And look, when I come home in the evening, I realized that my setup happened. I said, how about I just find a way to be at the charts at a fixed time that works for me? And using the knowledge that I currently have, also adding a bit more nuance to it. So I decided over the weekend, I looked a bit into volume profile and VWAP, but VWAP is not a lot of things to look into, but I looked a bit into volume profile and the way it works. I had contact with volume profile a couple of months ago. Perhaps I looked into it for a couple of weeks, but it wasn't anything serious. So over the weekend, I decided to just set myself and say, okay, let me learn how to draw the levels with volume profile, and let me learn how can I combine my current trading of price action, perhaps session levels and VWAP, and try to see if I can plot in a strategy or put in something that is valuable. And I want to share with you the results that I got to just by trading 40 minutes today in the New York session. I'm not sure if I actually traded 40 minutes. I'm gonna have a look here, 9:30 until 10:07. This was my last trade. Yes, this was my last trade. So I took a couple of trades. 40 minutes. I want to share with you how I went through the session, what I've done. And I want you to tell me if this is something that you personally would consider. I, for one, it was my first contact, and I was surprised in a very good way by the result of it. So let's get into it, and I will try to show exactly what I've done and what my thought process was. So first and foremost, I think it's important to discuss about the levels that are important for volume profile. So in volume profile, basically what it is, it's a indicator that you can find it here in TradingView. You just by tapping volume profile, fixed range volume profile, to be more specific, fixed range volume profile. You have it here. I've already added it to my favorites, is this one over here. And what this does, you are basically, the way you are using it, you are grabbing the tool from here and say, for example, you want to see the volume profile of the London session and London session only. You click here where the London session starts at 3 a.m. New York time, and afterwards you click, drag it, and click on where London session stops at 6 a.m. And what you have here, this is the volume profile plotted exactly on the session. And what this says, basically, the volume profile, what it shows is the amount of transactions that took place at each level during that session. I know this is a bit messy right now, and I can perhaps go back and discuss on another one, because the point of control here, for example, it's overlapping. This session is overlapping with others, with other already existing volume profile. But let's take, for example, because I plotted it already, let's take, for example, how I plotted last week, because I had to plot these levels on the charts in order to be ready this morning to try the strategy. So in order to draw the weekly volume profile, I went on the chart and I have selected the opening price on Monday last week, which was 18 o'clock Sunday. Here it is, Sunday, 18 o'clock. And I have dragged this all the way until Friday last week, where we closed. And this, the big lines, horizontal line that you see, the line at the top, it's value area high. The horizontal one, red one, it's value area low. Point of control, red one. And the other blue line at the bottom is value area low. And I literally went and I put lines, I coded them, previous week value area high, previous week point of control, previous week value area low. So I plotted these horizontal levels. Afterwards, I went and I've done the same thing in the 1 minute chart. Pardon me a second. Just turn my fan on because it's 35 degrees today here and it's really, 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 really hot. So coming back for this was previous week's volume profile, which again was drawn from Sunday, 8/18 New York time, until closing time on Friday, which is what, 17 Friday afternoon. Then again, I went on the Friday session, the regular trading hour session, which is between 9:30 and 16 New York time. And I've done exactly the same thing. I selected 9:30 and I drag it until 15:59. I actually was until 16 o'clock because that is when the stock market is open, between that time interval, 9:30 and 16. And I got other levels. I've got previous day value area low over here. I've got previous day point of control, previous day value area high. Okay, it's becoming a bit messy, but we will go through it. Previous day value area high. You see it's following this. This is Friday's line, blue line at the top, previous day's value area high, which is considered premium, previous day's point of control, which is considered fair value, where the most transactions took place in that session, and previous day value area low over here, which is considered discount. So I marked until now previous week point of control, previous week value area high, previous week value area low, and previous day value area low, previous day point of control, previous day value area high. We also had, until 9:30 a.m. this morning in New York, we also had the overnight session. And I have also done the same thing. I came here and I selected, I took this and I dragged it all the way until 9:29. It's actually 9:29 exactly over here. I dragged this and I named them overnight value area low, overnight point of control, overnight value area high. Exactly. So the moment the volume profile plots the levels for me, all I do is I go and take a line and extend it. Good. Having this level set, I also added this indicator, which is called VWAP. So if you come over here, VWAP, volume weighted average price, right? I'm sure a lot of you have heard about VWAP. It's the volume weighted average price. It says exactly, it's self-explanatory, how much volume has been transactioned at every single time at a certain price level. That's what it does, the volume weighted average price. And it's just a curve. It's the blue one here that you are seeing. And it is having also the upper band and the lower band. This is how the indicator comes with these two bands, the band multiplier, but you can also turn them off. If you don't want to see them, you can literally turn them off from here. I keep them on because sometimes they can help with confluences. So let's have a look. I'm going to go and bar replay this session. So first I have to leave here. I'm going to go and bar replay where the New York session started today. So this was 9:30. 9:30. We were starting here. And I have, oh, sorry. I just changed something. Volume profile. We were trading basically here when we opened. And I said, okay, I'm going to watch these levels. I'm also mindful that we have a low here because I cannot ignore price action. I've been trading price action until now. I'm not just going to close my eyes and trade just horizontal levels that I see. Although I try to, because apparently this is the way you have to take it. You just have to follow these levels and take trades based on confluences between these levels without thinking too much where we are at and so on. You can use discretion, which is really good in trading and which I recommend to, and which I'm doing. I love discretionary trading, but it's at the beginning when you are learning, it's good to keep your eyes on the levels. So let's go and see. So we are opening with a candle down, that is 9:30, and I'm looking, okay, we are going right now for previous week value area high, but there is nothing else there, because attention, even when you trade volume profile, you need to have confluences. Like you need to look for a couple of confluences. You want to know that you are not only trading one reason, you want to have a couple of reasons to get you in a trade, which I will show you in a second. So we are taking this low here, and I'm looking, and based on my price action eye jumping exactly on the lows and on the highs, I'm thinking we could have here a reaction. We traded in this price leg here, we've been dropping down overnight, we could have a reaction. But I said, okay, I'm not going to do anything because I'm trading volume profile today. We have here a level, but one level is not enough for me. I have to have a confluence of at least two levels. So what you see right here, this one, this volume profile, this is then volume profile current session developing volume profile, which is the 9:30 regular trading hours, and it's going with every single candle. As you can see, when I'm pressing forward next candle, this is developing, like it's changing. The value area high, point of control, value area low are changing. You see, they are adjusting in real time. Why? Because different transactions come in the market, different transactions are being put at every single minute. So this profile is literally developing in real time. So the way you do this, you just click on the profile. 1 second, because it's overlapping with the sessions. It's a bit tricky, this. Okay, it's difficult for me to select this. I will try to do it. Okay, the way you do this here, to keep something to be updated in real time, you just click on this level here, extend to the right. These are the settings. You can copy paste it from me. I think these are the settings that are coming by default, or I might have set it at some point, perhaps a couple of months ago when I first got in contact with it. I don't know, but those are the settings. You can take it from there. So let's have a look. I was looking here and I said, okay, we reacted, if you are trading volume profile only, we reacted from this previous week value area low, maybe, but it wasn't enough for me. Now, what are we doing? We are touching the lower band of the VWAP. The lower band is this one, the VWAP itself, the upper band of the VWAP. I'm not trying to find confluences so much at these levels because I understood they are not extremely meaningful as compared to the other ones. But I said, okay, I'm just going to observe what is happening. It's not time for me to get into a trade. And what I was looking at, my eyes run exactly here. You see these two levels, previous day value area high and overnight value area low, which is exactly here. Let's say it's just half of point. Yeah. And this is previous day value area high, which is right over here. Right? So I was looking at this level and I said, okay, this is where I have my first confluence. Not only do I have two levels of volume profile, but I also have these highs here, which were the New York, the 8:30 a.m. highs. So I said, okay, I'm going to try to take a trade here. I will try to blind it, like take a trade here, and I will put my stop somewhere at 40, 50 points because I do not know. I'm experimenting with it. I do not know what my stop should be at the moment. I'm just experimenting, but I'm adjusting my risk accordingly, but I do not know exactly what every session has in terms of best stops to follow. Of course, New York is way more volatile than London, for example. Asia is different than New York. London is different than Asia. Every single session has his own particularities, let's say, but I'm learning and I'm willing to spend time to see. So I took a trade here. As you can see, it was open here, also in my MetaTrader. Let's have a look. It was open here at 384, but it's also here, if I'm not wrong, 381.64 actually. So I sold at 28,381.64. So attention, what I'm doing, I'm analyzing on the futures asset because this is the raw price. This is where the cash price that you see on the right hand side here on MetaTrader. I'm trading currently a challenge that I got from Fivers last week. It was from the points. Perhaps if you watch my video, you will know by now that it's a challenge that I've got from points that they've given to me for free. So I'm literally experimenting with this challenge. I'm downing the challenge, but this is not the point. The point is what happened today. So what I'm doing, I'm analyzing on NQ1, which is the E-mini Nasdaq futures, and I am executing on a CFD platform. Ideally, you would like to execute on the same screen, and this is what is nice. But at the moment, I cannot have this, and because I'm experimenting, I said, oh, you know what? I'm just going to keep both windows one next to each other and execute, analyze on one, execute on one. It's not ideal, but it's good enough for me. So I enter into a trade here, as you can see, exactly this candle where I put my risk to reward tool. Let's see what happens. Attention, we are at this level. Previous day value area high, overnight value area low. Attention for me. I said to myself, pay attention to what happens to this. So I looked at this and I said, okay, what if I take a reaction? I'm not trading a complete return to this lows. I just want to see if it returns to point of control. So I opened this trade blindly, like literally blind. I said, okay, if it hits stop, if it's blast through, it's going to go to my stop. It is what it is. I will take it. And I said, okay, I'm going to watch, see what happens. What I wanted to do at this stage, I wanted to target this point of control, and perhaps a little bit lower. My eyes went here at this gap here because it was overlapping with previous price action that we had in this consolidation area here. So let's see what happens next. We have an initial reaction. And in the next candle, actually, look, in the next candle, in this rejection candle, I added another position. So at this moment, I was in with two positions, both of them having the stops here at the highs. And eventually, we go on and we hit the point of control. Point of control, as you can see, developed. It was here. Now it moves slightly higher. I took my profit here. One of the positions, I let it run because I thought maybe it's going to go lower. The other one, I took profit. I entered at 395 and I exited at 238. So this was, one sec, 395. One second, this is, no, I exited at 347. This is the take profit price. I exited at 347 actually. Give me a second, the microphone arm is in the way. Okay, so I exited at 347, entered at 395. That's about 48 points, which is exactly what I took because I entered with a size of 10 lots, which is 5 micros, if you think like this, in the Nasdaq futures. So 10 lots, which is $10 per point movement. I made 48 points, which is $487. On the second position, which I said, I thought I'm going to leave it as a runner. I saw this going down. I said, okay, maybe I'm going to hit this gap, which we actually hit, but I wasn't quick enough to take profit. So the second position I decided to take, as this candle was rejecting, I think we're in the next one, I decided to manually close it. I think I closed it here. Yeah, I think I closed it right over here. Let me see. Is this 1 minute? Yeah, I closed it here. I was happy. I was like, okay, that was really fast. To make $500 in 2 minutes, in a matter of 2 minutes, just using a bit of price action context, because we traded above these highs, New York pre-market 830 high, also confluence. The main thing was that I traded volume profile levels, overnight value area low, confluence with previous day value area high, which were on a difference of 6 points to one another. This was a great trade. Like, imagine being able to make $500 in 2 minutes is great. Even in 10 minutes, even if in half an hour, it's amazing. So it's not this, it's just the concept in itself. I said, I'm going to test it. Let's see how it goes. So further down, I said, okay, let's see what happens next. Can I frame another trade? And I started to look how price reacted. So for example, here, I was looking at this and I said, okay, we are testing this. We have rejected a bit from these levels, but right now we seem to be trading around the point of control of current session developing volume profile. So I said, I want to see if we manage to stay above. And when I saw this candle, I said, okay, this gives me the impression, and not only the impression, but this looks like it wants to stay or to trade above the current session point of control. We came down one more time. We reject higher again from point of control. And I was looking at this and I said, okay, what is it that we have above? We had above this high here, and we also had above, I was looking further, we were still way below where we opened. We were having overnight point of control here and overnight value area high. I'm not trading towards this as targets, but I was looking, okay, how can I anchor if I'm to take a trade long here? How can I frame it? So I said, if we are keep on holding above this overnight point of control, I will just try to long. And I believe, if I'm not wrong, in the next candle, I have taken a long here. In this candle, I've taken a long. And this was actually my first loss. It was my second trade, but my loss for the day, because the price came, I longed into which candle? I longed here. It's over here. I longed at this level, 385. Well, it's not the same level, but you understand. I longed here and I was a bit too early. I actually wrote here, longed from current session developing volume profile point of control. We were at point of control and I wanted to trade towards value area high because I saw that we were consolidating in the point of control and holding high prices. And I've been taken out here the first attempt, and afterwards I re-entered, exactly in this candle here I re-entered, and I managed to hit value area high just here. So it was, again, a very quick trade. Why? Because the target and the stop loss are very small. They are around 50 points. Look, even this one is 40, not even 50. And this was the losing trade, minus 225 here, and this was the winning trade, plus 208, which was very simple framed as I texted, as I wrote it here in the text. The stop was too tight for the first trade, got taken out, then managed to take the win to current session developing volume profile value area high. So the whole trade idea was framed around trading from point of control where the price was holding back to the value area high, which is exactly where you see the risk to reward that I put it. From here to here, not a lot, 30 points really fast. I took minus 225 and I took another $208. So I was down $17 for the trade idea. It's great. I'm experimenting with it. I don't know how is it going to go, but it's okay. I had a win here. All is well. So at the moment I'm up what? 500 minus 25, $23, $470. Let's see what happens next. I see the price approaching another important level, but what do I have? I don't have much confluence. What I have this upper band of the VWAP profile, but VWAP, but I'm not, from what I understood, this shouldn't be considered as a strong confluence. We shouldn't look at the VWAP bands as something that you can make it confluence, especially with the current session volume profile. If it's a VWAP band with previous week's point of control or with previous day's value area high or low, and or it's different, the confluence is stronger, but because it's just the current session developing volume profile, right? And we have the VWAP upper band, I said, okay, I need a bit more confluence. And I have this overnight point of control here. So I was looking how the price is going to react. And honestly, I just wanted to take a quick to fade this move. That's just basically, I wanted to fade my trade idea here as I wrote it. I wanted to see if we can come back to this value area high over here. If we can just retest this value area high that we just broke, which is the current session developing volume profile. So this was the first candle. I couldn't short here because I was like, I'm going to short into such a strong move. I want to see first some sort of rejection before I short. And the moment we came here and I saw the next candle, which is this one, I shorted exactly here in this candle. And my take profit, where was it? I shorted here. And my take profit was I wanted to hold to here, I believe, but I don't think I held until there. Let me have a look. I don't think I held that low, or did I? Yeah, I took profit here, right over here. I took profit here, where I also decided, why did I take profit there? It was also, we were coming into this support area over here. We were coming into this support area. And I took the profit for the short, which was this transaction here, sell 5, $222 in how many minutes? 1, 2, 3 minutes. Very, very fast. Overnight point of control, confluence with upper band rejection. I didn't short the first attempt because it was really strong. I waited to see a cool off. I saw a reaction from here. We came again to point of control and I wrote short of second test of overnight point of control with upper VWAP, with the thesis that we are going to return to current session developing profile value area high, which we actually did. Very, very simple. Like all this, I just learned it last weekend, like this kind of interactions with volume profile levels. So next trade, I actually, when I saw this being tapped here, I also looked in 5 minutes and I saw that we were, as I said, coming into this level of support. I didn't wait too much. The moment we got in this candle and I exited this position, I wanted to take another trade a very, very quick trade. If you see, I did not even have a clear target. I did not have overnight point of control or not even the upper band. I wanted to take a quick fade. Why? Because we tapped the value area high, which once broken, the first step into it, it will most likely act as support. We can also collapse through it, but just the first touch, I decided to take the first touch. Once we broke value area high of the current session developing profile, I took a trade. And I took also a win on this one. It was a buy, you can see it here, 28427, which was right over here. Took a buy over here, exited here. So I had a sell and a buy. So all in all, how many trades I took today? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 trades idea. Overall, I don't know, plus 6, 7, 800, something like this. But I traded for 37 minutes and I used these levels, volume profile. I will definitely continue to look into it. I think it's a good tool. It's very, very little sample size for me to say, that's it, I'm going to become a volume profile trader. No. But what I like the most about it is that this, unlike other tools or other strategies, these moves are happening, they are reactions, and they are really fast. So for example, if you've seen here, I have not waited for confirmation much at these trades. I have mainly, like, let's say here I waited for confirmation, but here I shorted in this candle as it was going up. Here I shorted in this candle. Here I longed in this candle. Like, we didn't have much confirmation. I want to place my levels to be in and out. I think this is the most important thing that I want to say. I want to be in and out of trades really fast. Why? Trading at the moment right now, for me, I'm also combining it with work, and I want to be able to work to create a video for YouTube with the lessons and the learnings that I took through the day, and afterwards be able to do also other things. So because of this, and because of the fact that I want to trade also London session, although I trade in New York, I want to test this to see how is it going to go in London session. I want to trade it next morning, because as you can see, the price can rotate a lot from level to level. So it's going from overnight value area low, previous day value area high, rotating back to point of control, afterwards rotating from point of control where we held price to value area high. I took another trade. We are going to overnight point of control. We reject. I take the second test to it, just for a quick one-in-one risk to reward, maybe 1-in-1.8. This was a better risk to reward. And afterwards, look, this one actually was a 1-in-1, maybe 0.96, 1-in-1 risk to reward. So it's great for you as a trader if you want to be in and out of trades very, very fast. And the results for somebody who tested for the first time and made a video on this, on volume profile, the results of the day, I'm going to actually calculate again. So this is about 510. And these two trades that were, I'm going to calculate per trade idea. This is minus 17. So 510 plus minus 17 is 493 or about. And this is 380. 493 plus 380 is about 870. Am I right? Or 770? 870. Great. For 40 minutes of trading, it's great. I'm going to keep on going to test this. I'm going to test London session, see how it is. And I'm going to keep on monitoring to see if the levels are getting respected. Perhaps I also thought to myself, maybe it worked today. Maybe I was just lucky. Maybe it's because I'm used to read price action and I looked at this and I said, okay, we have a sweep of the lows and afterwards it's normal. We're going to continue higher and it's normal what the price does. Maybe. But what I've done, I've tried to respect the levels of volume profile. I didn't look at my knowledge of price action, I didn't try to take my trades based on price action. I've tried to take the trades based on price action, maybe 10%, because for example, here, as I said, I looked and the price looked very strong, and that's why I didn't want to short directly like I've done here, for example, where we had these highs. So there is a bit of discretion into it based on my past experience. It's almost impossible for me to shift completely and trade a new strategy based on only volume profile. And I think for everyone, if you've been trading price action, like raw price action, and all of a sudden you're trying to switching to trading RSI or trying to trade Bollinger Bands, just some curves on the chart, it's going to be hard. So because of this, I have respected the levels. I have also had a bit of discretion of price action in my mind, but mainly I want to trade around these levels and see what happens. There's also a lot of setups related to the nodes inside the volume profile. So for example, here we can see this shape here. It's a high volume node. I need to learn myself more about it, and I will come back with more information. But in essence, what it is, volume profile can have different shapes, can come in different shapes of distribution. This distribution can come in different shapes. Like for example, this one, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's a even D distribution. And the best trade ideas are appearing when you're trying to fade value area high and value area low. So rotation from here and here. These inflections that you are seeing, they are nodes, and they are called high volume nodes and low volume nodes. Low volume nodes are, for example, here, where the volume was very low. It's self-explanatory. And high volume nodes are here. Low volume nodes, for example, are acting as support. So you can use that as a confluence as well. Yeah, anyways, I'm very excited about this. I want to give it a try, see how it is. For today, it was a productive day. I also managed to stop quite quick. In 37 minutes I was done. So yeah, it looks promising, but it's very early to say anything about it. So if you like this, or if you found it insightful, let me know in the comments. If there is something that you didn't understand, of course, this is my first video. I will try to make more videos related to volume profile. And as I said, I'm also learning myself to trade with it. So it's new to me. I'm not a master. I don't want to look like one, but it's something that I'm willing to learn because I see a lot of potential into it. So thanks a lot for watching. That's it from me. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.